Well, hello there, and welcome to tonight's episode of Loot, Die, Repeat, where a bunch of us Gen Connors get together and we roll dice. We do a lot of laughing at each other and some collaborative storytelling known as Dungeons and Dragons. And we are thankful that you are here along with us to take part in our adventures. As you can see, we have a number of our participants en route, and unfortunately, we're going to be without our blood hunter Eli tonight, as he had some previous engagements. But we are thankful that you are here, and we look forward to enjoying this little adventure here together as you take part in the chat. We don't have our producer on site. He is taking care of things from home. And so if there are issues with the sound, if there are issues with the image, please let us know in the chat so that we can try our best to take care of it here and figure out what's going on. Now, as with all of our previous streams, if you would like to catch up with anything, you can watch us on YouTube. They're all uploaded on YouTube right away. And this is our 40th episode, which is kind of cool. And so you can go up and watch all 40 episodes on YouTube. Naturally, we have gotten better as we've gone along, and we have tried our best to improve along the way, not only in terms of our storytelling and role-playing, but just in terms of our production values. So hopefully our sound and image quality is getting better and better, and we're always seeking to improve. And of course, if you have any suggestions, we would love to hear how you think we can make the stream better. And again, just let us know in the chat. Of course, if you would consider subscribing to our YouTube channel, which is free, we would really appreciate that. And of course, following us here on Twitch. And we are doing some giveaways, which we will have now every week. So every week, we're going to be giving away some minis. And the minis that are on offer this week are this cool copper dragon right here, as well as an orc raider and a shade knight. So we're definitely going to give those 3 minis away tonight. 2 giveaways, actually, so there could be 2 potential winners. And if we get, I guess last I checked, I think it was 8 or 9 more, 8 more subscribers, then we are also going to give away this super cool Sandpoint Devil, which is part of the Pathfinder Legends of Galarian set, and I just think it's a really cool mini. And so we're going to give that guy away if we get 8 more subscribers. And of course, as you know, if you've been a part of Twitch at all, you know that you can have a free Amazon Prime subscription, or of course you could have a paid subscription. And so we want to really give back to our viewers, and so when the time comes, we will make the announcement. We are only opening this up, as so many giveaways are only open to the United States and Canada, excluding Quebec because of all the different laws with the giveaways there. But if you are in North America, in United States and Canada, then we would love for you, when the time comes, to, and we'll tell you what the code word is to type in the chat, and we'll randomly select someone, and then you can whisper us your name and address, and we will get that out to you as soon as we can. So again, you can win these figures, at least 3 of them, potentially all of them, with a couple more subs here, and hopefully we will get an ongoing count. And if by the end of the night we get 8 more subs, then we will give the Sandpoint Devil away as well. Very cool. Now, you can also, we have Scooby-Doo, who has put together some really cool chat commands for us. So if you can type in !commands and see what all of those different commands are, and so that would be another little cool feature that you can take part of and you know, just kind of engage with. And if you haven't figured out by now, I am trying to stall just to give our players a little bit extra time to get here, because we are beginning with a battle straight away, as we have some hill giants bearing down on our party and some innocent bystanders that had just escaped certain death in Amphale and are now being attacked by these very hungry-looking hill giants.
I mean, of course.
Yeah. As I said in the beginning, we are a bunch of Gen Coners. We did get back from Gen Con. We just went as, like everyone else, just enjoying it. Oh, it's all right. Looks like we got our wizard here. That's good. And so, yeah, picked up the sweet shirt, and there's a lot of other cool little things there that are on sale. Would certainly encourage you if you're a gamer, especially a tabletop gamer. Some amazing games on display, new games, old games with new things. Very, very cool. Ton of dice, ton of cool stuff if you're a D&D fan. All right, well, we have the majority of us here. So I think we have all of the background covered. If I'm forgetting everything, well, you can figure it out along the way as you go. So, let us begin by jumping into tonight's episode of Loot, Die, Repeat, and we will begin with our usual and customary recap. And so our party, after rushing to the aid of Amphale and making several decisions along the way as to who to save and who to pass by, ultimately, inevitably, meaning that there were people killed due to their choices, our party returned to Waterdeep after, by and large, saving the leader, the Lord Warder of Amphale, and several citizens, but also leaving many, many more to perish. Returned to Waterdeep, took care of several things in their home, in the basement, as well as a quest to check out an incident in the harbor, and were largely successful in exploring all of those areas, though there were, of course, ramifications to those decisions as well, as they unleashed a shadow organization out of their basement that had been kept imprisoned there for decades.
Good grief.
Never happened.
And had lost one of their party members, Sola, only to bring her back to the realm of the living, albeit missing her right hand. So the party has now finally gotten themselves together and begun taking off back to the north to check out the town, see what they can do to perhaps help and assist with the rebuilding efforts. They did have their druid Melsine rejoin them, who had been whisked away by the magical necklace around her throat, and she found herself in endless wastes of ash and cinder.
That was intense.
And after some intense survival and figuring out how to unlock some of the power that was latent in her necklace, the tear of Vivon Rano, which she believes to be a deposit of creation of the gods, she was able to survive long enough to be whisked back to her party, who were just about to take off to the north. They begun on their journey, traveling several days, and it is now the second day of Flame Rule, which is our month of July, as the party has just passed on the road a small caravan of survivors from Amphale, several of whom berated the party, focusing in particular on Hold, who had seemed to be leading them as they made their way through the city as it was under attack. A young woman was distraught over the loss of her brother, while a young man was incensed over the loss of his father. An old woman also complained that Hold chose to rescue one of the defenders of Helm as opposed to trying to defend several of the innocents at the North Gate. And as the party passed them by, not really seeking to defend themselves anyway, but understanding that decisions have consequences, Hold, lost in his thoughts of the choices he made. Party conversed briefly before a scream rang out behind them, and they turned as several hill giants emerged out of the cornfields and heading straight towards this small caravan of survivors. There is a singular giant at the lead of the pack, which, though larger than the other two in height, looks almost emaciated as his skin hangs down around him and he has a ravenous look in his eyes, broken chains on his hands, and stuffing his face with corn and fruits as he charges towards the caravan in front of him. Behind him, trailing several feet behind, are two smaller hill giants, which, though they don't have the same stature, look far healthier and are hot on the heels of this larger giant as they all three bear down on these survivors. The party at the ears of Rygar has turned to see this, recognizing that they are quite a ways away, and the lead giant has already borne down on the front, or rather the side of the caravan. Now, unfortunately, I forgot to bring the minis with all the different citizens, but you can see the circles that give you a bit of a sense of where they are. So, Moniker, as this scene unfolds around you, I need you all to roll initiative. All right, 21 to 25.
25.
21.
All right, so we got Morthos and Mylandra. Let's see. Yeah. $16 to 20.
20.
Okay. Rygar.
9.
9. Okay.
Excellent.
Hold.
13.
And Vincent.
15.
15. And
Tony's got 2.
oh, you have Tony out there also.
I don't think he got zapped in a while.
Okay, so Tony's out there, and the enemies did not roll well.
Nope.
All right. Morthos, you turn as Rygar alerts you all, and you see this scene unfolding. What do you do?
I will take my full movement of 40 feet, and then I'll take the dash action, and I will run right 30 feet away from the first one.
So that's 40 feet, and you want to go
I'll use my bonus action dash.
to move 40 more feet?
No, I want to move.
Oh, you want to be within 30
I
feet.
want to be within 30 feet and stop.
Okay.
And,
So you are within 30 feet.
Hold my crossbow action
Okay.
for if anyone gets within 5 feet of the builder.
Okay, very good. Mylandra, it's your turn.
I'm gonna hex the fat dude.
Okay. So you hex the large hill giant, the large emaciated hill giant.
Never mind. Philosophy.
And then I'll
He's
move
eating vegetables.
my like 30 feet and wait to attack. Yeah, I'll hold my action.
Moving towards him.
Yeah, towards like where Morthos.
Okay, so you dash forward, and you are holding an action until what?
Until somebody attacks.
And what is the action you're holding, Eldritch Blast?
Yes, until he tries to go from one of the.
So if he attacks, then you will attack him back.
Yeah.
Very good. Melcine, you're up.
All right, I want to magic my shillelagh,
Okay, so that's your bonus action.
and I want to cast Goodberry.
Okay,
Is that an action to hand them out?
it's an action to cast it.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So I couldn't hand them out.
You cannot.
Okay,
Yeah.
sorry.
Okay, so Goodberry is cast. Your Clubberang is shillelagh.
Yep, I'm ready.
And are you staying there?
I also, you can move me up a little bit, but I want to say, let's try to talk to him first.
Okay. So
Don't attack yet.
so Melcine yells out to your party
I just
to
don't have the charisma to.
hold your fire. Vincent, you're up.
I will like to move ahead just 10 feet.
10
And-
feet,
And yell in giant.
which you are the only one, I believe,
Oh,
who
excellent.
speaks that language.
Right. Halt! These people are under our protection.
All right, roll a charisma, persuasion.
I will use portent.
Okay,
I will use my 19.
19, very good.
Ooh.
And what is your modifier?
That is a -1.
So it's an 18.
Yep.
All right, you notice that the eyes of the giants back here shoot over at you, and this guy is stuffing his face and kind of glances over slowly, and there's almost a glaze to his eyes, and he glances back and glances back over at you. For the moment, you seem to have their attention, but you don't know what's going to happen.
Okay.
All right, hold, you are up.
Hold is going to grab the reins of the horse from the cart.
Yep.
And double move into the giant next to the cart as fast as he can.
Okay, so the the horses have 50 feet of movement.
60.
He
60?
clearly was.
So it takes a little bit of maneuvering to kind of, you got to do a bit of a circle. It's not just like you can go backwards,
Mm-hmm.
right? So. About 60 feet of movement there. There is a fence there. Are you trying to go on the other side of the fence? Up to him, I assume?
Oh yeah, we're crashing through whatever's in the way.
Good grief.
Okay, so I need you to roll an animal handling check.
I'm gonna use one of my advantages.
Okay.
Hold really cares about this. I got 2 left. Thanks, guys.
You had a ton last week.
21.
21. You're able to urge the horses over the fence, and they leap over it, and your cart crashes through and leaves a hole in the fence as you move right up next to the giant, and that is movement and dash action. Morthos, he is now next to the giant, which is what your triggering action
Yep.
was, so go ahead and take your shot.
17.
17 hits. Roll your damage. Okay, so your bolt pierces through the flesh on his midsection where his ribs are, and he lets out a as the food kind of falls out of his mouth. kind of swats down at it and looks over at Hold and the horses that have rushed up to him and the people in front of him. And Rygard, is now your turn.
No. Here we go. You do you.
Guess I will cast Hex on the big fella.
Okay, so you hex the large giant there.
And for now, I will begrudgingly hold an action.
Okay. So you hex him and or hunters mark him, and your arrow is held. What is the triggering?
If he makes any movement towards Hold.
Any movement towards Hold. Okay. So if he attacks Hold, you will attack.
Correct.
Very good. It is now the enemy's turn. And the
One opportunity.
I'll take it.
giants in the back, in particular this one here with the club, they rush forward, yelling out in giant to you, Vincent. Help us contain him.
Okay. All right.
As the large one sees Hold rush up and the horses that Hold has brought to him,
Oh no, the horses are gonna.
and reaches down and grabs one of Hold's horses, cracks its neck, and bites it. Begins to stuff it in its face.
Hold is gonna attack.
Oh no. Don't attack.
Don't do it.
Oh,
Don't
this is
do it.
so bad.
They rush forward and they are trying to grab at the chains, as he has taken one attack at the first horse. The second attack, he tries to reach for one of the people in front of him, which the personal guards, there were two of them here, one for the young nobleman and one for the young noblewoman, with the eagle shield and the Ilzimer family crests. They've both stepped up and they're right here trying to defend, and so he reaches for the second one and makes a and is able to grab the second one, and with his final attack goes for a bite on him. Natural one. And he is able to get his shield up, and he bites the shield as he holds the horse half eaten and the soldier in his hand. Rich, you're the only one who understood what they said. So for the rest of you, you heard yelling back and forth, and you watched as these two rushed up, seemingly seeking to grab hold of the other one. And it is now Sola's turn, and
Wait, could I have attacked since he went for?
yes, if you can roll the attack.
I have 2 attacks, right? Because I
Yep.
hexed. Crit?
Natural 20.
No.
Oh, crit fail.
Oh. And 9 plus 6, no, plus 7.
So, natural 1, and you rolled a d20,
Yeah,
and what'd you get?
a 9.
A 9.
Plus 7.
16.
No, this is for the crit fail.
Oh yeah, you gotta
Oh.
roll. I know.
Yeah, roll an attack, please.
Oh, yeah.
No.
No,
No, with your
D20.
D20.
9. Plus
Total?
5.
9 plus 5,
Yeah.
so 14.
And hold there you
Someone roll a d4. 1, 2, 3, 4.
1.
1. So you shoot, and this is the guy that's in his hand here.
Oh my god.
And you blindside the guard that was defending Lady Ilzimer, and he falls down dead before her.
Hope they didn't see that.
Excellent.
Whoops.
These people are really gonna love us.
They're gonna think the Giants.
So that was your first attack. Go ahead and roll your second attack.
Oh my word.
Stop killing people.
16 plus 7.
That
I mean,
hits.
19 plus 7.
Roll your damage.
Yep.
Yeah. Alright, 6 plus 3 plus 5.
14.
Yeah.
14.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oops.
So he gets blasted. Are you moving him back 10 feet?
Yeah. And does he also get, is it necrotic damage or something?
So he gets blasted. Oh, the damage type doesn't matter.
No.
He's not resistant to anything.
Okay.
He gets blasted back as he lets out another as now the entrails of the horse kind of fall out of his mouth, and he still holds the other guard in his hand as the the Ilzimer guard is, I'm going to say he's not dead, but he is definitely unconscious, bleeding out on the ground. So hypothetically, he can be saved. Rygar, are you taking your shot?
He ate my horse. Counts as me.
It's okay.
I will attack.
All right. Roll your 2 attacks.
The first one is the green. That was a 22.
22 hits. Roll your damage.
All right.
Plus your hunter's mark.
Okay. 15.
15. Very good. So your arrow sinks into his chest and apparates away a portion of his flesh as your second arrow is loosed.
Unnatural 20.
Roll your damage.
11.
11. And the second one in his shoulder, similarly, as the flesh is apparated away with your void force damage. And he is pockmarked with these wounds from the blast, from the bolt, from the 2 arrows, as the flesh and blood is kind of oozing out of him, out of his just wrinkly, sagging skin from his emaciated form. All right, Sola.
I still think he's.
She rushes up, seeking to interpose herself in front of the giants and the people that are fleeing. Zeus rushes up and does the same, as does Eli. Tony.
He will try to distract the larger giant.
So Tony flies up and flaps his wings and kind of does his flyby to the side. Your owl familiar who distracts. So the next attack on the hill giant would have advantage. As the people now begin to flee, the cart tries to move forward, and they rush, although there's one guy down over there. Actually, it's this one is down on the ground. Okay, Morthos, you're up.
I will use my movement to get in between the guy that is down and the giant.
Okay. You are right next to the largest hill giant there.
Alright, I will cast Booming Blade and make an attack.
Okay, make your attack.
19.
19 hits. You have no adjacent allies, so there is no...
Do I get advantage from Tony? Does that give you sneak attack then?
It does.
So I'm gonna roll another one just in case. Crit.
Excellent.
Go ahead and roll your sneak attack damage doubled.
That one.
This reminds me of
Woohoo!
something.
Does it remind you of something at all? Not quite as good as over the weekend. Oh, look at all those ones and twos. 3, 8, 12, 16, 20, 25, 28, plus 6 is 34. And I will, as a bonus action, I will take the dodge action.
Okay, you take the dodge action, so you are there in front of him, and you skewer him with your blade. And this is the short sword
Yes.
of the
+1.
ogre mage.
Yes.
And so the first time you're really using this in combat, and you gash him across his sagging stomach, and his stomach spills open as the entrails begin to stream out, and there is a bunch of half-digested fruits and chickens and corn and pigs and things that it seems like he has recently gorged himself on. They're not fully digested as the contents of his stomach begin to spill out. Mylandra.
I'm gonna move towards where I shot that guy and he's down.
That's 30 feet of movement.
Alright, and I will cast Healing Light on him.
Okay, so roll a d6. And this is a bonus action to cast.
This one.
Yep, that's one.
5.
So he takes 5 points of healing, and you see his body, which was stilled on the ground, with the chest kind of singed and blown apart. You see the wound close up, and his chest begin to go up and down as he begins to breathe again. Is that your bonus action?
Yeah.
And you have an action if you care to use it.
Yeah, I'll use my blast again on that same giant.
All right, roll your attack.
12.
12 does not hit. As you rush up and you cast Healing Light and slightly distracted, unleash your first attack. That sails wide over his head. Roll your second attack.
Same.
And both of them, as you fire in quick succession, trying to avoid hitting Morthos, trying to avoid hitting the guard that he has in his hand, you shoot quickly as they both sail overhead. Melcine, you're up.
My Ray of Frost, is that, it says it's a D8, isn't it plus anything, or?
It's a D8 plus your spell attack.
Okay, so to hit, is it plus my spell attack?
Plus your spell
Okay.
attack, yep.
Alright, 13.
13, who you're aiming for the large hill giant?
Yes.
Yeah, that hits his flesh, but it doesn't seem to take hold as he is able to shrug off the cold damage, and you didn't seem to hit a vital spot that would have actually damaged him.
Got it.
Vincent, you're up.
Can I bonus action say something?
Sure.
Hold, try to restrain him, and then I'll cast slow
Okay.
on the large giant.
Okay. Now there is a radius around that.
Yep, but it says up to 6, so I can choose how many.
Okay.
Right? Wait, of your choice. It says up to 6 of your choice.
So you're choosing to not slow anyone else.
Just the big one, yeah.
Just the big one. All right.
Mhm.
So what's the save I need to make?
It is wisdom, and I'm going to use my other portent of 8.
Do I want to roll?
You can roll it.
Would have failed anyway.
Cool.
14 on the die. So he is slowed, and you see his form, which is already moving a bit slower. He now begins to move even more slowly. And as he chews, the chews are more slow. As even more food just falls
Gross.
out because he can't keep his lips shut.
Don't you know any manner?
I'd like to move forward 30 feet.
So you move forward to avoid the horse cart that's there.
Mhm.
And Vincent's turn is over. Hold, you are now up.
Am I within 60 feet? Because if I'm not, I should have been for my Ray of Frost. Just to be honest. Okay.
You are now within 60 feet.
As the horse cart approaches the giant, and he rips the horse off the cart as I'm attempting to
Oh
get
boy.
to him, and Vincent yells to restrain him. Bolt continues his pace and will jump off. Oh, I don't know if he's going to have to jump off. Does this creature look large or huge?
This creature looks huge.
Uh-huh.
The two smaller ones are large. This one looks huge.
Like that stopped you before.
Seriously.
It stops me with mechanics.
The only creature that you've seen this large were the black dragon flying above Amphail and the behemoth in the harbor that swallowed you. Although this giant's mouth is far smaller than the behemoth.
Okay, then I'm going to aim for its back and attempt to grapple the chains.
Okay, so you make your way off and roll your strength athletics check.
Inspiration.
Okay, roll with advantage. That's your second inspiration.
Probably a pretty strong giant, so. 20.
22.
So as I miss
So
the first
he...
chain, I go by the second
Actually,
chain.
you know what? I'm slowed. Does that have an effect on
Just
us?
dexterity.
Not athletics. Okay.
Strange, right? So I attempt to grab the first chain, and as I'm going by the second chain, I attempt to grab that one
Okay.
with my last inspiration.
Okay.
I got like a +9. That's better. 28.
21.
Got it.
You grab the chain.
Grandfoul! Scream that out loud.
You grab the chain, and the arm with which he's you said left hand, right?
Yeah, I missed
So-
the first one grab.
Yep. So the arm that he is grasping the soldier in, you have now grabbed the chain because he grabbed your horse with his right hand, which was the closest hand to him.
Sacrifice the horse, I guess.
There you go.
And you have the hand with, and as he's trying to bite the soldier,
Ooh.
he is unable to do so because you have the chain held.
That's good.
Rygar, you're up.
Wait, I would like to shield bash him,
Okay.
which I don't think there's a limit on size to the ground.
That the shield master, I don't think gives a size limitation
I don't
for
think
that.
so.
So,
But I use my momentum for the extra size.
okay,
See what I can do.
go for it.
I'll probably just bring him to his knees. Maybe. We'll see. 20.
12.
Got it. I don't know what it does.
I rolled a 3. So he is knocked off balance and he staggers downwards and his back knee buckles and he kind of catches himself almost like in a proposal position. So he is effectively prone, though not toppled. Okay. As his entire mass is lowered closer to the ground, easier to hit. Rygar, you're up.
I will draw my bow
Yep.
and hold action.
Okay.
If the big one gets loose and goes to bite the guard, that's when I'm attacking.
Okay. So if he goes to bite the guard again, you're gonna.
No.
Got it.
Silly Hole doesn't know range mechanics. Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So the two giants rush up again, and now that you have one of his arms, they go to grab his other arm. They have advantage on their grapples to restrain him.
Yeah.
And the first one, even with advantage, is unable to grab as
Silly giant.
they adjust course. The second one,
Oh, I don't know these are.
oh my goodness, still beat him. And the second one also is unable to grab his hand. They have the same strength, but I beat
Hole
both.
says,
Both of the advantage. So the giant who is prone, effectively prone, can't stand up as you are pulling his arm down, and he can't really move that arm, so he takes another bite of the horse and drops it and goes to smash Morthos, which is disadvantaged because you took the dodge action. So that is a 14 and a 24.
Yeah.
So there's a 19 and a 16.
Does he have multi-attack?
He does. That was his first attack.
Right?
I'm sorry, he missed the first. This is the second attack.
Oh, you know what? He was not able to take that reaction. You can't
Yeah,
use
you can't.
reactions on a slow, so they grappled those chains.
Take a reaction.
Yeah, you can't do reactions.
Although that's not a reaction. Anyway,
Yeah, he was just resisting the athletics, just like he did with you.
true, but he can only take one attack or bonus action.
Okay, so one attack action.
Yep.
So the attack action is multi-attack.
No,
it
no,
not
no, no,
be?
no, no. It says only one attack, actually.
It says either an action or a bonus action, but it doesn't say anything about attacks.
Right, so this attack is technically a multi-attack.
I'll move it.
I'll tell you what though, I'll say that he doesn't take his bite attack, which is the one that he actually would regain health on. He only takes his two fist attacks, only one of which hits. So you take
Uncanny dodge.
24 damage, halved down to 12. And he is there as he is bleeding, being held. The giants are trying to grab him. Let's see if... Ooh, natural 20.
Is it a slow natural 20?
As the soldier is able to wriggle out of his grasp and drop down and steadies himself and sees his compatriot on the ground, he rushes over to try to help him up to continue the fight. He can't take a reaction opportunity attack as he gets away.
More than one melee or ranged attack during its turn. It specifically says it can't make more than one melee or ranged attack during its turn.
Okay, so then there's no damage there. All right, very good. Sola rushes out, and she takes her attacks with advantage. So someone want to roll advantage attacks for Sola? Morthos, you got it?
7 and a 4.
So the first one misses.
I should have rolled for her.
The second one,
9 and a 6.
Oh.
second
Good
one
grief.
hits.
Ooh.
And the unarmored strike? Well, they're all unarmed at this point. and D-handed.
They're at least unhanded.
13.
Handed.
Yeah. And so you rush up and you swing with your right arm, and still not quite having the loss of your hand kind of accounted for. You glance off of Sola glances off of his body, followed up quickly by a kick to the chest and an elbow with the left arm, both of which make contact. And so roll 2d6 and add 5 to it. I'm sorry, add 10 to it.
Well, that would be 20.
20. Very good.
Can she use Stunning Strike?
She can.
She should.
So she will use Stunning Strike. And, I rolled a 17 on the die, plus con,
She
so
failed.
he passed.
That would have been amazing.
Zeus, Tony, I assume, is going to do the advantage again. Eli,
Poofs out.
rushes up, and he takes his 2 attacks as well. So someone roll an advantage attack with Eli.
He's not rolling anymore. I got it.
I got it.
Let's see what happens. 17 plus,
Okay.
I think, just 5. All right, 6. I don't know.
Okay. 17 hits.
I don't know.
What's his?
What would you roll?
17?
Yeah, that hits.
Oh, okay. 5.
5 misses. And so roll a d8.
You got it. You got it, Eli. 3.
3. Okay. And as he carves through him with his broken sword, again, his body spilling blood, he's looking really rough as his hill giant brethren behind him are yelling out. Vincent, you hear this, don't kill, don't kill.
All right.
And Morthos, you're up.
Gosh, I better hope I don't kill him. Morthos is going to move, or stay in his threatened range, but move around to flank him with Sola.
Yep.
And
You're
Ruben blade
probably.
again.
I'm on his left arm. He might be flanked already.
Oh, that's true.
He's still prone, so you don't even need to move for...
I critted.
Oh
As a
Lord.
melee, you don't have to kill
Dead
him.
giant.
Roll your damage.
Good grief.
Right? You don't have to kill him as a melee, right?
That's. I don't know. How he- I don't know
Did
how
you
he
tell
does
us if they said not to kill him? You have
I don't know that.
Restrain.
Yeah, he
It's a-
doesn't
it's
know
a
that.
sword
I
and
do
not a
not know
club.
it.
He hasn't told us anything.
No, we don't know. We just hear yelling.
Luckily, I rolled a lot of ones.
Again? It's 2 crits in a row.
He's dead.
38.
Oh, good grief.
So as he's down on one knee, struggling against Hold's grasp, trying to stuff food in his mouth to sate his hunger, you find a gap and you pierce him through his throat and slit his throat as the food, the entrails of the horse that he's chewing on, just begin to pour out of his throat as he begins to topple over towards you
Towards me.
and Sola. And so I need Sola and Morthos to roll a acrobatics check.
Sweet. 27.
It's a 4.
4. And so as
gonna
he
die again.
falls, you are able to jump back out of the way. And he falls.
Oh, what's her athletics?
I would say, I don't know if it matters, but
The same.
she's a plus 11 for
Athletics.
15.
acrobatics.
Plus 11.
Plus 11.
15.
Crushing Sola. All right. So she takes
854 damage.
5 bludgeoning damage and is trapped under there. All right, Mylandra, you're up.
So Hold went down with them, right?
Hold is still holding on to the chain. You hear, Vincent, you hear as he goes down, no!
Uh-oh.
Wait,
We're
he
still
dead?
in it.
He's
You're
dead
still in
then?
combat.
Still in combat.
I'm in a bad spot.
Oh. What to do? I'm just gonna stay where I am for now.
Okay.
Here.
Not holding any actions. Melcine, you're up.
I am. I'm gonna hold my throwing club in case the other two would decide to attack.
Okay. And what's the range on that?
I think it's 60 feet.
Okay. So
Yep.
you can move up 5 feet just to make sure that you're in range.
I don't even know they're friendly yet.
And
We don't.
Vincent, you're up.
Alright, so I rush up to the giant, the one that fell, while yelling, "They mean us no harm."
I told you!
So you yell
He
out.
did no harm, but he tried to bite the guy in half.
Right, but the other two didn't attack us.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, they mean us no
Holding an
harm.
action, just
Stop
in case.
attacking.
Okay. Hold. You're up.
How long is this chain I have?
Oh no.
It's a couple feet long on each side. The end of it is broken.
Does the giant on the ground look dead to me?
Yes.
Guts
His
are
body,
all over
his
the
body is
ground.
riddled with arrows and bolts, and well, actually the arrows have been just apparated his flesh away, skewered through with gashes from Morthos' blade, bludgeoned by Solace's blows.
Sad.
Just to make sure, Hold brings out his glaive and he will attack the giant on the ground.
Okay, roll your attack.
And before he does that, he pounds his chest and yells, "Ah!"
Roll your attack with advantage. That hits.
Why
And your
are
second
we
attack?
letting the dead guy?
Wait, why are you attacking?
Yeah.
Because he just
He killed his
ate
horse,
my
man.
horse, attacked a guard, and you said not to because he's a nice guy? Yeah, right. Like, I'm gonna believe that.
Plus, he's also dead.
12.
That technically misses his corpse, but you gouge him through with your glaive, and
Okay.
totally forgot to do that again. And it is now,
Am I within 5 feet of the other giants?
you are, they're standing right next to you.
Don't.
I'll shield bash the one that's closest to me,
Ah!
just to knock him back.
You're not seeking to knock him back 5 feet.
Yep,
Okay,
away from me.
What happened?
I will need you to roll an athletics check with disadvantage.
Oh.
Forgot to do it last time.
We always kill things.
That's right, you're cursed.
Disadvantage.
I rolled a 20.
Oh, I rolled a 21.
You still beat him. He is knocked back 5 feet. Okay. Rygar, you're up.
He's so frustrated. He just wants to shoot something.
I will move my hex or hunter's mark to the other one, hold action, and if he attacks hold, I'm gonna kill him.
Which one are you moving your hunter's mark to?
The left. TV left.
Okay, very good. He is marked. That's your bonus action. You're holding an attack on him if he attacks hold.
Correct.
Okay. Having just been bashed by hold, he does in fact step up.
I didn't attack him. It's a bonus action push. That is what it's called in the book.
Let me see. Let me see.
It's a sign of affection in the giant.
Yeah.
This is nonsense.
This is
Chicken scratch. Could be anything.
shove.
So he
with
goes to
shield.
attack you with his club.
Does it cause damage?
No, it doesn't do anything.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, see?
Why don't you just hug him then?
That's not
If it's
effective in the
if
giant
it's the same
world.
effect.
They don't hug in the giant world.
Sure
They
they do.
shove.
They hug.
They shove. Alright, they bear hug. It's like
As the both of the giants step up on either side of you
No,
and go to make their attack. So they have you flanked.
I don't believe it.
You have your attack ready?
I do.
Is a first one is an 18.
Miss.
So.
You can make your attack, Rygar.
Alright. 11, 12, 17.
That hits. Roll your damage.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, that was
I
his
roll
damage.
my to hit 26 and 22.
Oh, they both hit.
Yeah. And my first damage was 17.
17.
17. Okay.
And second one is 10.
Okay, so the arrows pierce his back as he steps up to attack hold, glancing, taking the first attack and kind of moving it out of the way as his glaive is out and his shield is put away. Kind of sidesteps it. He lets out a yelp of pain as your arrows pierce into his back. The second attack is a 25.
That hits.
And he does 14 damage to you as the second giant steps up and goes to pound you with his fists. And, ooh, that's not good. 13
Ooh.
and 24.
Yes.
And that's 16 damage. Okay. Sola, I need her to make an athletics check.
You got it?
Athletics?
Yep.
That's 11.
Oh, no, she's -1 for athletics. So it'll be 11.
11. So she takes 4 more bludgeoning damage as she is unable to get out from underneath the weight of the giant that has toppled over her and actually broke the mini.
No.
Underneath.
Oh no.
That
It's
is
alright.
awesome. Was it the hand that came off?
It should have been. I'll have to do a mini with a no hand. I'll just reglue it. And Zeus goes up to attack the giant, flanking him with you, and makes a bite attack. And that is a 12 that misses. And that's a 16 on the die that hits. So he needs to roll.
That's what I think. He's a
Takes
level of barbarian.
7
What's that?
damage. And it is now Tony's turn.
He'll do a flyby on the other guy, the one on the right.
On the right, so the next attack has advantage on the giant on the right.
That's good time.
And it is now Eli's turn. Eli turns and gets these people out of the way as he is standing there to defend them as they all kind of rush into the trees. This one goes further down, and they are kind of standing on watching this attack unfold, seeing as how you've rushed to their aid. It is now Morthos' turn.
I will move around the giant on the ground and flank the one on the right with hold.
Nice.
Coming out, buddy. And we will cast Booming Blade again.
Okay, roll your attack with advantage.
24.
Okay, that hits. Roll your damage.
We always listen to you.
Ooh, a lot of high dice that. 6, 30.
30. Woo!
Could be a really cool question.
That's pretty sad. I almost do as good as I did when I
Okay.
started.
Right.
And your bonus action?
Dodge.
Takes a dodge, bonus action. Very good. Mylandra, you're up.
Well, I mean, I heard Vincent yelling out, so I'm gonna move my hex from the guy on the ground and put it on
Yeah,
the blue
completely
guy, and
ignored you.
then I'm gonna,
Obviously.
no, the other guy.
I heard you, but it didn't make any sense to me.
And
That's
I will
because-
hold
I know. Still doesn't make any sense.
my action for now.
What are you holding?
I'll hold my action for if that guy attacks. Is that Morthos flanking him, right?
So if this giant attacks Morthos,
Yeah.
you will shoot him with an Eldritch Blast.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's your triggering action. Melcene, you're up.
Alright, I want to move within 30 feet of the one with the red hex on it. Other direction, actually.
Like up
More
here.
towards the north, yeah. Okay.
Okay.
And I want to healing word, hold.
Okay. That's your bonus action.
Mm-hmm.
I like it.
Vincent, you're on deck. 1d4
7.
plus your wisdom. Okay.
And I want to thorn whip the one with the red hex to pull him away from hold.
Very good. Roll your damage or roll your attack.
18 plus stuff.
That hits. Roll your damage.
Oh, sorry, I rolled the wrong thing. Ooh, I have 2d6 now. That's exciting. 3, 4.
4. Okay. Nice. Nice. And you pull him back 10 feet towards you.
Yep.
Okay. And it is now Vincent's turn.
I will yell to the giants, stand down and we can end this peacefully. And I will prepare slow again
Okay.
to see if they attack.
Roll persuasion.
Come on.
That's an 11.
Okay.
Ah.
Hold, you're up. You yelled that in giant,
Yeah, that was
obviously.
in giant.
So you wouldn't have understood anything that he said, Hold.
Mm-hmm.
Not that he listens anyway.
We are no good at talking
Who
to
hit me?
people.
The one in front of me or the one behind me?
They both hit you once.
Oh, who hit me last?
This one here.
My hex.
Okay, I turn around and I will attack him 2 times. The hits hurt, so I put my shield out. I'm gonna use my fists.
Okay.
Uh, 20.
20 hits. Roll your damage.
Nine.
9. Very good.
And again,
Second attack.
18.
18 hits. Roll your damage as you grab your shield and just punch him 2 times right in his chest, and you can hear the bones of his ribs crack under the pressure of your blows as his rib cage is just being crushed under the weight of your punishing fists. And
That
what-
was 12.
12. All right.
And I will, as my second fist comes through, take my shield and try to knock him in the head to
Okay.
knock him to his knees.
All right. Roll your athletics with disadvantage, please.
21, no, 13.
18.
Shucks.
As he withstands your blow.
Disadvantage, huh? Okay, I'll stay right here.
Rygar, you're up.
This time using sharpshooter.
Oh, here we go.
Both attacks.
Okay. So you are attacking him with sharpshooter.
I am, yes.
Go ahead and unleash your fury.
13 and a 12.
No.
Neither of those hit.
Oh.
Wow. As you're feeling pretty cocky that, wow, I've been crushing these guys. Let me go for some kill shots. And as you let loose each of your arrows in quick
What I
succession,
deserve.
Melcine rips him out of position, and your arrows fly past, piercing the air right where his heart would have been, but instead missing both. And you kind of look over
I like
and
this.
shake your head. Clearly, this wasn't
Don't
your
look at
fault.
me.
I like
This
this
was
roleplay.
Melcine's fault.
Obviously.
Don't look at me.
All right. As
And the giant goes,
Oh, there goes Melcine.
turns to Melcine and takes 2 attacks against you.
Crazy water lady.
Ooh, that's a crit.
Yo!
And a 24. So,
3 sets of die.
Oh, so do I cast slow?
Power. See ya.
Because he's attacking?
okay.
Oh my god.
This
That's
is-
so
this
many
is just
dice.
His AC's dropping.
First half.
First half.
32
Excellent.
for the 2 attacks that he makes. And I need you to make a strength check.
Oh.
Matt, do I get slow before that?
Yeah, but this was his action, so
Okay.
you cast slow as he attacks.
Alright.
So I will now roll the save, which is a 10.
Okay.
So he is slowed.
16.
16. You are not knocked prone as you withstand his 2 club attacks, although you are bludgeoned badly.
No kidding.
Okay. The other one, Hold, takes his 2 attacks on you.
Not gonna happen.
First attack is a 23,
It happened.
and the second attack is a 10.
Didn't happen.
And you take 21 bludgeoning damage. And it is now Sola's turn. I need her to roll an athletics check.
Someone else can do it.
I failed my last one.
It's a 10.
As she takes
Whatever.
she takes 5 bludgeoning damage. So what's she at now?
Did she make any
She
noise?
is at 23.
23. You hear roll perception.
10.
You hear a lot of commotion and struggling. It's impossible to discern what's going on. And
Does the other guy pass on the wisdom? Because I cast slow
on both. Oh,
Right,
right.
thank you.
They're both within 60 feet, aren't they? So if you center it between them,
yeah,
yep. 18 on the die.
that passes.
So this one is slowed. Okay. And Zeus rushes up, continuing to bite at the heels of this guy. He has advantage on the attacks, and he hits with his first bite. He only gets 1 bite.
go Zeus.
Bully!
Oh,
Ha!
disgusting.
These giants taste horrible! Ha! As he does 7 damage. And Tony, flyby,
Flyby on the one near Melcine.
Melcine. Okay, so the next attack on him has advantage, and Eli is up. And Eli
Wow.
continues to hold his... Actually, you know what? Eli's going to go up and try to get Sola out from underneath the giant. I need an athletics check from Eli.
Somebody else.
It's minus 1 or something.
I think it's actually even because he's
It's
proficient.
even.
Oh,
For
that's
him.
good.
Yep.
Oh,
What
wait.
would you get, Melandra?
5.
So he fails trying to pull her out. Morthos, you're
Oh
up.
wait, he had a +3 on athletics.
It still failed.
Still fails.
Here, you want another dice?
Same thing, booming
Oh, I
bleed.
can have it.
Okay, roll your attack with advantage.
Use it. Oh, that's not a good one.
21.
21 hits. Roll your damage.
Oh, that's even better. All your other rolls, huh?
26.
26. All right.
And I take the dodge action again.
Very good. And by way of reminder, for those of you who are watching, we're going to be giving away these 2 small minis and the copper dragon today. If we get 8 more subscribers, I think we're at 8. I don't think any more have come in. We will also give away the Sandpoint Giant. So consider subscribing and get that Sandpoint Giant out there, but certainly stick around as we give away some of the other minis tonight. All right. So you take the dodge action. And we are now over to Mylandra.
Alright, so I'm gonna try using my blast on that giant that's down to see if I can push it back away from
So you are trying to blast him off of
Sola.
Sola.
Nice.
Okay, go ahead and roll your attack with disadvantage.
Oh. That's not cool. 18, 13.
13 hits. And you don't need to roll damage. So it is moved back off of her. You can take another shot, not fully off of her. And if, go ahead with disadvantage, yep.
5.
5 plus does not hit, but the DC has been lowered for her to escape. So that's helpful. It is now Melcine's turn, as this giant has borne down on you.
I want to use a Balm of Summer Court on myself. And I only got 3
Okay, so that's your bonus action.
points of health. And then I want to turn into a bear.
Okay, so you turn into a bear.
Would you know what a would you know what a slow spell does?
Tiny bear?
Does Melcine know?
Yeah.
I don't know if you have seen.
Okay, it is now Vincent's turn.
Does anybody attack the one on the top?
Me.
Yeah, he's been attacked.
Alright.
Many times.
He's been
will-
attacked a couple times.
Alright. I will shoot it with Chromatic Orb level 2.
Level 2, roll your attack.
Fire.
Advantage.
Is there still having an advantage on
Yep.
it? Oh, plus
Says
minus-
Tony. Yep,
Ooh, that's a crit.
Crit.
natural 20.
Crit the orb.
So as you take out your diamond and you spin it around in your hands, concentrating on the element of fire, a blast spews forth, hitting the hill giant square in the back, singeing his hair and flesh, burning it down to the sinew and muscle around his spine. As he leaps, he cries out in pain, kind of almost leaping forward. As you roll your damage.
Seven, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Is it twice that?
Is you can double, is that, yeah, 13, 26?
Yep.
Okay, very good. As the flesh just melts off, burning away. Hold, you're up.
Man. She's gonna keep swinging at him. Swinging away.
Okay, roll your attack.
Crit.
Nice.
A lot of crits.
As he is pierced in the back by Morthos' blade, you see an opening, and you punch straight into his chest, which you've already been bludgeoning, breaking the bones underneath your blows.
14.
14. And your second attack, as you hear the wind knocked out of him, his face hanging low, and you go for an uppercut to knock him out.
26.
Hits.
10.
10. And as you connect, you see his eyes roll up in his head as his chin is broken and pushed off to the side.
Point.
As he crumples to the ground, I need you to make a dexterity acrobatics check.
It's a good one for me. 20 minus 20.
And you are able to get out of the way, not covered by the mound of flesh that is a hill giant. All right, Rygar, you are up.
2 regular attacks on
Oh, I would run
fellow there.
up to the other guy.
Okay.
But he's probably gonna die.
27 and a 16 to hit.
They both hit.
All right.
Roll your damage
Nice.
First
with
attack.
your hunter's mark as well.
First attack is 6, 5, 16.
16, very good.
My goodness. And second attack, 7, 12.
12. All right. As the arrows pierce his back and flash away more of his skin next to the fire that has been burning, he sees the bear around him and sees hold, looks around, and he actually takes a disengage action and begins to limp away, holding out his hand saying, "Enough, enough." But because he is slowed, he can only move half of his movement. As he is backing away from you. Sola, athletics check. Go ahead, Mylandra.
8.
8, and her, what's her?
-1.
Minus 1. Still does not get out, as she takes 3 bludgeoning damage. And Zeus is kind of watching this, waiting to see what's going to happen as Eli goes to pull Sola out again. Roll an athletics check for Eli. And he fails. Morthos, you're up.
Oh,
Good grief.
Did you roll 1?
No.
Okay.
It's a 7.
I will
What does he need to get out?
move right up next
It
to
was a
Hold.
9.
Hold.
Doubt that
Yeah.
would work.
Well, he had a plus
Okay.
3.
10. I see him running away.
I don't think
I
that would work.
will hold
Probably
my
not.
action for if he turns around.
Okay, very good. Mylandra, you're up.
I'm gonna try this again. Let's do this, Sola. Yeah. I'm gonna attack the giant again.
Okay, roll your
See if I
attack with
can push
disadvantage.
up further.
You're attacking the one on the ground.
Yeah.
Yep. Go ahead.
8
8 does not hit.
Plus
plus.
7.
Oh.
Oh, 15? That
Oh.
hits. And you're able to knock him back, getting him off of Sola. She is now out.
Poor
Everybody
broken Sola.
survives. Everyone
Her
survives except my
broken
horse.
Sola.
Do I still have a bonus action?
You do still have a bonus action.
Then I will. Is she close? No, I'm farther away. I'll do healing light for Sola. Oh, that's a 1.
So you go to heal Sola, and she takes 1 point of healing.
Nice.
Let me try.
Good work.
Okay.
It's good 'cause
And
her
it
good berry
is-
definitely crushed her
It is now Melcine.
No, I still have all the good berries.
Melcine, it's your turn. as you see the giant begin to limp away.
I am going to regain my other form.
Okay, so you turn back into your normal form.
And I am going to.
As 12 more giants show up.
Yeah, right. And I just wasted a wild shape. I'm gonna cast. Can I cast Cure Wounds on myself?
Of course.
Excellent.
I was gonna say, if you would have healed that giant,
No, I'm not
you
healing
might have
the
been grappled
giant.
next turn.
I feel bad for the giant.
I do.
What?
I don't know how we're letting one get away at this point.
Oh, we're not.
Yes.
Don't be worried about that.
He said enough.
You thought.
He said
He didn't say it to me.
We
Paul
didn't
doesn't
understand
understand giant.
And I don't think Vinny's really, like, not hammered right now.
What?
The whole thinks you're drunk.
I don't know what we're basing that on, but alright.
Because you spoke giant. And you're like, leave me alone! As he eats my horse.
You're a stupid horse. I'm gonna kill the other
Anytime
one.
you two and the horses.
I'm gonna kill your horse.
Cool it.
You better switch to donkeys or something. 'Cause I'm gonna kill all your horses from here on out.
You will.
It was really Vincent, not the giant.
Listen, meet in the middle, go with a mule.
I'll get one.
We'll just get a dragon.
Why, so Sola can kill it? We can't have anything nice.
Does it have a sword?
Good question.
So true.
All right, Vincent, what are you doing?
Well, at this point, I'm thinking we can't let one get away.
Oh my god!
So I'm gonna fire Chromatic Orb at level 2.
Love it.
Of course
Okay.
you are. Of course you are.
Oh.
Oh, that was close.
That's I think not 21.
21 hits. Roll your damage.
Bye.
I love it.
Let me take your murdering dice.
Yeah, buddy. I like it.
2, 4, 7, 14, 15.
Okay. You hear a voice in your mind. Chuckle.
In my mind?
Finish him.
Oh.
So just thinking that we've already slaughtered the rest of them and nobody is listening, Vinny loses his self-control. He's overcome by his anger that nobody's listening, and he launches a fire-based chromatic orb at the back of the giant, fearing that he might bring back the rest of his clan.
And it hits in the same spot, burning through his spine. You see the blood begin to trickle out of his mouth as he tries to stagger and falls down as his flesh just smolders. Hold, Morthos Melcene. The air is filled around you with the smell of burning flesh.
Ew, gross.
And I'll start to cry
Thanks
the
for that. I
giants.
know.
I wish they would have put smell sensors in my nose.
And you are now out of combat. As the people begin to stream out, seeing that you have killed the 3 giants that seemingly attacked them, saved the 2 soldiers, one that was downed by a blast.
I don't know how that happened.
That was
I didn't
the
know giants
fault.
could tell spells.
And, well, the people can.
Yep.
And the other one who was able to wiggle free because of Hold's intervention. And
I head
so
towards my horse, my dead horse.
you go towards your
I'm
dead
gonna
horse.
Kill the other horse.
Drop
I
it.
will help you.
Anger.
I shotgun grasp your horse.
What's the save?
Let's just make a fire.
Let's see.
Horse.
All right. So the people all watch you, and the young man speaks up. And he says, I suppose thanks is in order. This is just unbelievable, this string of events. Thank you for saving us. I don't even know what to say. And he kind of turns and goes over to his guard, who is the one who had been felled by Mylandra's blast. The guard kind of looks over at you, not at you, Mylandra, in particular, but just kind of all of you, rubbing the side where he was hit, and then just says, I don't know whether to thank you or curse you.
You better thank me or a second one will be coming.
Roll an intimidation check.
No!
Wow. Got it.
7 plus 4.
He just looks at you and doesn't know if you're joking or
Neither do we.
it's like,
One can never tell.
he's like, that's funny, lady. And he just kind of turns and walks away.
Vincent will say, don't strain yourself thanking us, just go.
Holt says, we have all lost loved ones in the past few days. Let us move on without holding grudges against those who are simply attempting to live their lives to the best they can.
The young woman looks at you, listening to your words. They're all obviously torn emotionally. Thankful for you having saved their lives, but still remembering that their loved ones have recently been killed.
Holt's thinking right now, why didn't any of you attempt to save my horse?
I'm gonna walk up to your horse while looking at you. I'm gonna cut a piece off and just put it away for eating later.
Actually, not a bad idea. Probably should make some jerky out of
I agree.
It's not a bad idea.
Can I check the giant, not the big one, but the little one that fell?
Yeah,
Do you want more?
go ahead and roll an
doesn't
investigation
need
check.
Yes, I'll take as much as you can carry.
He doesn't need it.
It's a crit fail.
Yeah, you find
Nothing.
nothing as his fallen body has covered over anything that may be of value. You just find some skinned animals covering him in makeshift clothing and nothing really else.
Is that the large one?
That was
The little
that was the one here.
in the middle.
I'd like to call Melcine over to the big one and to try to figure out what was wrong with it.
So you're okay. Roll a medicine check, Melcine.
Mm-hmm.
I'll help you.
Hey, thanks. I believe it's an unnatural 20.
Yes.
It is.
Okay, so you inspect the body of this massive creature, and through all of the wounds that now cover its form, you notice that while its stomach, which has been, the contents have been exposed through the blade of Morthos, a lot of the food therein is recent. It's undigested. And you look at his body, and even though he's a massive, massive figure, he's really just skin and very flabby skin and bone, as if he was once a very hefty giant, but had been starved for who knows how long. And you can't really get any sense of his emotional state, but you get a sense that
He was just hungry.
he was really hungry.
Which is what I said from the beginning.
Can I search him?
Hmm?
Can I search
Yeah,
him?
roll an investigation check.
You should go search the
11.
11. You find the remains of food
Food.
stuffed in pouches.
Ooh,
and the
delicious.
horse's head.
Nothing else. Okay. as
I was gonna say, is anybody
I'd like to take a
Yeah.
trophy from the guy up there.
I wanna go up to the other guy.
here.
Yeah.
All right, go ahead and roll investigation. Hold.
Come on, baby. 14.
You're strong enough to push his body over, and you find a pouch on him that has a smattering of gold pieces. There are 37 gold pieces, and there is a gem inside that it looks to be about the same size as some of the smaller gems that you found in the Blue Alley. It's yellowish. You don't quite know what kind of gem it is, but that's basically it's a kind of a yellow quartz type stone.
Okay.
So just small yellow quartz you can write down. And there's also another stone that has a insignia carved into it, which you don't really recognize, but it's just a stone with an insignia in it.
What color is
That
it?
will be my trophy.
Okay? The stone is about yay big. It's maybe 6 inches wide,
Wow.
7 inches in length, and about 3 or 4 inches in depth. So it's got some heft to it, and there's just a symbol carved into the front of it.
I'll take this rock. Who wants the little yellow one?
Me.
Okay.
Okay,
Don't
so my
shoot
lands
those
are-
people though.
Can I look at that rock?
Sure.
Yeah, buddy.
And what are you trying to do with it?
Can I read what can I tell what the insignia is?
It is, you speak and read giant, and you look at it, and it's not a letter of their alphabet, it's just a symbol. You can roll a history check on it.
Yes.
26.
26. In having studied some of the giant tribes, you know that there are several different types of giants within the orders of giants. At the top of the order are storm giants, followed by cloud giants, followed by frost and fire giants, and then stone giants. And at the bottom of the order are hill giants. And within each of the orders of giants, you know that there are different tribes of giants.
Mhm.
And this tribe, this is a symbol of one of the tribes of hill giants that roam through the Sword Coast.
Okay.
And you recognize it as the tribe of Ga.
I like it. Good.
Tribe
In-
of Ga.
Tribe of good.
And so it is named for the matriarch of the tribe, Chief Ga.
I wonder if these were the giants that attacked. What, Nightstone? I never seen giants before. It must be them. Glad we got them. What were you thinking?
What were you thinking?
Wait,
Must you kill everything for justice?
is that really how I do things?
Apparently. This is not justice.
Yes. They were
No.
attacking us.
He was crazed. The other two were not attacking us. They were trying to stop him.
How was I supposed to know?
I was telling you to stop them. If you would just listen for once. Remember Amphail? Did you listen there?
What about what?
I don't know, you were just running rampant there too.
No, I wasn't.
Weren't you?
No, we were running to groups and saving them.
Right.
Yes, I were. Yes, we were.
How's your father doing?
He's dead.
Exactly.
That was very rude.
Ouch.
Well, it was rude of you to kill everything in sight.
It was my fault.
I'm very confused.
I walk
right
away.
now. Very confused. It's always my fault, apparently. You guys can go back.
Anyone
to
else
Waterdeep.
saying
I'll go to
anything
Amphail
as
by
you see
myself.
As you see
I
Vincent,
also walk away.
as you
towards
see
Anvil.
Vincent angrily chastise Hold, and Hold kind of left confused and speechless. Vincent walks away. Hold walks away. Do any of the rest of you care to do anything or say anything?
We're not friends anymore.
What's weird is we're angrily and awkwardly walking in the same direction.
We don't kids turn.
It's like after you say goodbye to
We're just
somebody,
trying
you
to
go the
outwalk
same
each
way.
other at this point.
Eli is over kind of scratching Zeus's head and neck, and Sola is just kind of watching this with her mouth open, unsure of what to say. Anyone else?
Arguing does not help things.
La 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 la.
Hold shows his three-year-old maturity and begins to stomp off in the corner, covering his ears.
We are a team. We need to work as a team.
We're working as a team murdering.
I may agree with you.
Sola speaks up. She says, "To be fair, they did attack these people, and we stopped them. What else could we have done?" And she's looking at you, Vincent, as she says this.
Why don't you look at your hand and think about the things you've done?
I don't know why you're so angry,
An
Vincent.
utter dick. What do you know of justice, little boy?
I've already walked away from you.
I'm shouting across the field of corn!
I don't understand common.
Sola just kind of looks at you and shakes her head. She's like, "A wise man told me that we should be quick to listen and slow to speak and slow to become angry. Your anger is unjustified, Vincent." And she turns and walks away.
Hold wins. He says that.
All right, so as your party is kind of
Fragmented.
taking a time out,
You go sit over there. You go sit over there.
Eli just kind of scratching Vincent's head, watching all of this happen.
Vincent's head.
Vincent?
Zeus's head.
I don't appreciate this, Eli. Not now.
Zeus's head. Sorry.
I prefer if you scratch my stomach.
Oh my goodness. And so as that is going on, we are going to do our giveaway for our first two minis, which are this Shade Knight
Come back.
and
He'll be back.
this Orc Raider.
You work here.
So Shade Knight and Orc Raider. And for anyone who is interested in winning this, you can type in !argue. That's
Excellent.
!argue, ARGUE. And then we will randomly select someone to be one of the winners. So !argue. And by way of reminder, if we get 8 more subscribers, I think that we're at 8 still, we'll give away this Sand Point Devil tonight. And we're also going to give away this Copper Dragon later. So, !argue. And we will give that away. We're going to wait a couple of minutes for people to enter, and then we will do the drawing. All right. So, as the party steams off, eventually Eli speaks up and he says, "You know, we're not getting anywhere with this sort of arguing. I understand you're angry. Hold, you didn't listen to Vincent when he said to stop, but you're in the middle of fighting the giants. I get it. Let's just say there were mistakes made. We did what we can in reaction. Sometimes in the heat of battle, it doesn't work out cleanly. The good news is none of the people died here, except for the horse. And we can always get another horse. So let's move on to Amphail. I'm sure there will be more people there that we can help. What do you say, Vincent?
I'll go to Amphail with you, but we'll see where that leads.
All right, your choices are yours.
They are.
Hold. Hold is silent, but just kind of begins to walk with his singular remaining horse, walking next to him, pulling the cart, and going on towards Amphail, not really saying anything.
We need each other. We're going to be more effective together, unified, listening to each other, than fighting.
Okay.
Well. You return.
Oh,
Oh, I did not walk back to you, that's for sure.
So Eli has just suggested that you return to Amphail, and as a party, you all continue on, Hold and Vincent kind of keeping their distance from each other. Does anyone else wish to have a conversation with anyone as you make the rest of your way to Amphail?
I'll talk to Sola, but well, I guess we'll have to do that another time, right?
Okay. Yeah, I guess Molly's not going to show tonight. She didn't tell me she couldn't be here, so hope
Minus
she's okay.
400 XP.
Hope she's okay. Anyone else? All right, so you guys make your way to Amphail, taking another night's rest,
excellent.
and you arrive about a day and a half later. However, that night after the hill giant battle, Morthos, you have a
Ooh.
restless sleep. And as you drift away into your dreams, you have a very lucid dream where you find yourself in a frozen tundra, much like when you were whisked away to the Frostfell. And in this dream, you feel yourself wandering, and you feel yourself alone and panicked, the cold pressing into you. Though it doesn't seem to harm you, it's frigid on your skin. In the distance, you see giant ice flows which seem to go on and on. You also see mountainous terrain which look to be jagged icicles which just jut up out of the ground in the distance. You continue a ways until you see a solitary edifice in the break of the horizon. It looks like a metallic steel building, rather a fortress as you get closer. As you make your way towards this, its imposing size begins to make itself apparent to you. And the fortress is stone and metal and has jagged, harsh edges. And as you approach, you can actually see there are humanoid forms stuck on poles at the top of it, as if to warn people to stay away. And you kind of halt, not knowing what else to do. And in your mind, you hear a voice. It says, Welcome. Welcome to my home. I've been watching you, Morthos. You're an interesting fellow. You seem torn in terms of who you seek to serve. Let me assure you that serving yourself is the right choice. And your lust for vengeance.
Oh, for crying out loud.
Agreed.
Your party, those twits that you travel with, they know nothing of real power. I can offer you power. What do you think of that?
Power is good.
Power is very good. And for the first time, you now realize that this voice is not just some ethereal voice in your head. It seems actually localized around you. And as you peer out, as the snow flurries around you, you can almost see the form of a person as the snow is kind of whisked around it. Much larger than you. Invisible, yet visible through the shroud of snow. And he says, "What type of power? Well, I know that you crave magic. You crave the arcane arts, yes?
I do.
Tell me, does this icy realm suit you?"
It has a certain chill to it.
Yes, that is evident. But you seem undaunted by it. Perhaps you would like to wield the power of the cold more freely.
That I would.
Ah. And how would you like to wield such power? I imagine for the purpose of vengeance?
I want to make sure that the people that hurt me will never be able to do it again.
Ah, and they won't, I promise you. I will give you more power. All you have to do is just listen. I will give you some insights, perhaps some direction at times, and in exchange, you will have power. What do you say?
I like this deal.
Ah, it is good. It is good. And you feel a frigid touch on your shoulder, which is quickly turned from cold to warmth as you feel an energy begin to radiate out in your body that again turns cold. It says, "There. What do you sense?"
That was strange. But I feel power that I did not have before.
Yes. Do you see the wall?
I do.
Go ahead and reach out and seek to command the cold around it to coalesce and impale it. And as you do that, the moisture in the air forms into a knife in your hand made of ice, and the blade shoots forth and impacts on the wall and explodes into thousands of tiny ice shards. He says, "Well done, you are a natural, as I suspected. Take this, use it, and we'll talk. Farewell, my friend."
Farewell.
And you wake up from your dream, having learned the ice knife spell. And this mysterious
That's a good one.
form in the frigid, cold wastes of your dreams.
You people are way deeper than I thought you were.
You arrive at the gates of Amphil. It is a overcast day, and you notice that as you approached, the fields around you were growing high with corn, though there weren't very many workers there. And it was really devoid of life in large part. Whereas before you would see farm hands and people out and about working the fields, the couple of times, certainly Hold, you would know, there was always commotion out in the fields. But as you traveled, having traveled to and from, it's just different. You arrive and you see that much of the town that last time you were here was under attack in the evening. You now see it in day, and it is a beautiful little town with cottages and buildings of wooden beams and white stucco and thatched roofs, and many of these are in perfectly fine condition. No damage to them, but there are several others that have been burned, either in whole or in part. And many of the people there are still clearing rubble. Not a lot of construction has begun. It's been less than a 10-day since the attack took place. And as you approached, you did notice far off to the road what looked to be a freshly dug mound, which, based off of the size of it, looks to be some sort of a mass grave. And it seems that much of the effort in the initial days after the battle was just to bury the dead and to take care of their remains so that there would be no disease that would spread therefrom, and to honor them in the ways that they would have liked. And so now as the cleanup commences, the fields are really left unattended, and as you walk in, many people pay you no heed, but you do notice a couple of glances that linger. Some that linger for a moment and turn away, but some that linger and there is anger, there is disdain in their eyes, though they don't say anything.
Ungrateful bastards.
What are you guys doing?
I'd like to quietly walk up next to Hold and just from beneath my hood say, I'm sorry about what I said about your father. My anger got the better of me. And I wait a couple seconds, and if he doesn't respond, I slowly walk away.
Hold response.
With a
With a
fist.
fist.
I knew it. I know you too well.
He responds by saying, "You are a true friend. We will move on."
Okay. Any other conversation?
How far away is the mound?
It was about 50 yards off the road.
But are we already past it?
You could have, if you wanted to.
I just wanted to go and
Yep.
kind of pay tribute and.
So you go and see, and it is in fact a mass burial mound, and there is a stone monument memento there. It's not fancy, but it does have a kind of a hastily chiseled marker that says, "Here lie the fallen of Amphale, taken in the siege by the Black Dragon, felled by Minotaur and elementals. May the gods rest their souls." And as I said, it's a large grave, probably 30 feet wide, 20 feet deep in terms of the length and width. You don't obviously know the depth of it,
Right.
but
Just kind of lay my hand on the stone and
yep.
kind of nod my head and rejoin the party.
Okay, very good.
Did we come in down here again?
Yes, you did.
Okay.
Came in the south gate. The mass grave was off to the western side of the road.
Well, we saved. Where is Stuyven's house compared to where we are?
So you would know where Stuyven's house is. You actually saved him
Uh-huh.
essentially on his porch.
Yeah.
So his house
Oh,
is
so that's like halfway up or whatever.
yeah, kind of near the house of supplication,
Okay.
and it is it's right around there.
And so I say to Vincent, I suppose we should probably go see Moxie again, yeah? I've got some friends over that way as well. Do you remember the fight around the brothel?
I don't. It was chaos, and
Okay.
I'm surprised you were able to do as much as you did.
Did you have like a come to tear meeting or something? Where
I just realized that.
you've got many sides to you, Vincent.
I just realized that it couldn't have been easy that night.
No, it's still not easy. This may be just as hard, walking through here today.
So you approach the vicinity of the Blushing Lady and of Stuyven Breck's home, which is also in the general vicinity of the House of Supplication. The Pearl Tower, which was Cherise's home, still lies in ruins, having collapsed, and people have really been tending to their own neighborhoods first. And you see crews of people that seem to be banding together to help each other out as they are seeking to clear the rubble away. There is a heavy guard presence that are both helping but also continuing to try to keep order, especially since you know the Lord Warder is not there to oversee things. And so you arrive in that area. You're seeking out Stuyven Breck or Moxie. What are you seeking to do?
If you know where Moxie is, I'd like to see her.
Yeah. Well, she's either here or there. So let's go to the Blushing Lady.
Okay. So you guys go to the Blushing Lady, and you see several women of various races.
Hold your hands up like this. This means you're not here for business.
And
Or
you
pleasure,
see,
I mean. You are here for business. Whoops.
as well as several men, all assisting the work of the houses around the Blushing Lady. The Blushing Lady was largely saved by you guys, as you saved Moxie and the dark-clad woman from Armored Woman as they were attacked. The homes around it, specifically near the left of it, had burned, and that's where they all seem to be working. You do see the blonde-haired pixie-cut woman now no longer wearing the tattered low-cut robe, but wearing worn work clothes. She seems to be giving orders and direction, but also no stranger to getting her hands dirty, as her face is smeared with ash and soot. And standing near her, also helping, but also keeping a close eye, is the dark armor-clad woman that you had seen before, with the red hair, and has a bow slung over her back, but is assisting in cleaning things up. They all see you approaching, and Moxie looks at you and says, well, I'll be. How are you doing today, darling?
You've been better?
I think we've all been better. I never got the chance to thank all of you. I wouldn't be here if it weren't for you, darlings. And she kind of walks around and reaches out a hand to shake each of your hands. Rygar, she kind of catches eye contact with you and just lingers for a little longer, gives you a little smile.
He'll be back. When you get off work, baby. Never off work.
So, you've come back. Are you darlings helping with the cleanup effort?
We're really just stopping through. We wanted to check on how the city was doing. How is the cleanup going?
Well, as you can see, it's a bit slow going. But we're resilient. We'll make do. Business has been lousy, but we'll turn things around. Unfortunately, my bar was burned to the ground, which is where I did most of my business. So I'd sure appreciate any help in clearing that rubble so I can rebuild.
Yep,
I think we should.
I'll help.
I really appreciate that, Hold. Thank you. You are always a darling.
No problem.
Well, Hold, you know where my bar is. There aren't any crews working over there. We're working on the houses first. Most people up here in the tenements are just working on getting their homes back in order. Also, my deepest sympathies. I heard about Father Greg and the Iron Abbey. I'm sorry.
Yes, we're planning on, well, I'm planning on heading up there as well to see if there are belongings or family items to take back.
Well, let me help to prepare you for the proper expectations. The Iron Abbey was hit hard. There's not much left.
Okay. Well, I'd like to get my mind off of this. I'd like to go work. I'll be back.
All right.
Hold walks off.
Thank you.
I follow.
Okay, so Hold, you go with Melcene. And anyone else going with them to the Boar's Head Rest, or any other conversations you wish to have with Moxie?
Mm-hmm. Well, after she mentions Hold's father again, Vincent blushes in embarrassment at what he said before. And then, after Hold walks away, Vincent says, Moxie.
Yes, darling? You're a bit young.
Got any milk?
Yeah. Throat's a little parched. I was sent back here to talk to you about my sister.
Whatever do you mean, your sister? I don't... She looks at you, and then she looks at the other ladies around. She says, I don't... Who's your sister?
I Miss Flade. Cherise told me you might know her.
At the mention of that name, you see her face kind of stops for a second. Her brow furrows, and then she puts kind of the demure look back on. And she says, Dimas Fladay. I haven't heard that name in a long while, darling. You say that's your sister?
And Vincent nervously grips his staff and goes, as far as I know.
She reaches out her hand and says, you don't need to be nervous. What's your last name?
Baraz?
And why do you think she's your sister? Because Cherise pointed you here?
Well, kind of a long story, but first my master name told me to seek out Cherise.
Master name?
Yes, from Waterdeep.
I can't say I've heard of him, darling.
I'm surprised that you haven't. He's quite well known.
Me too. I rolled a 3.
You should probably get better dice.
Advantage! Oh, yeah, now I remember. Old chap.
Very old.
Yeah. Okay, so an old wizard told you that you had a sister
Yes.
named Dimas Flightus.
Yes.
And then how did that take you to Cherise, darling?
Oh, send me to her.
So he said to check out Cherise,
Correct.
and then she told you
To seek you
to
out.
seek me out.
Why the runaround?
I just want to calm yourself. It's my job to protect people. And your sister was one of the people I was given to protect.
From who?
I don't know.
Well, it's surely not me. I didn't even know she existed.
Well, I didn't know you existed either.
I didn't know you existed. So we all are in a
Didn't
big
know it.
non-existent world.
Seems that we are united in our ignorance.
Here so.
I imagine that was purposeful, darling.
On whose end?
Where have you been your life?
Mainly Waterdeep.
Under whose guidance?
Master name.
I see. So they split you. I'm sure there was a reason. All I know is that Dimas was brought here from a forest in the south. And so I made sure that she got as far away from that forest as possible to a forest in the north.
How far north?
Roll a persuasion check with advantage.
Why don't I just use a portent and use 19?
Got another 19?
Yes, I got.
19 out of 2.
Yeah.
I watched it.
It's an 18.
She looks at you. Says, come here. Let's go somewhere private.
Snap!
Morthos? Rygar?
Oh! Well then!
You're not there, Hold.
I know. I'm watching.
So you are all, Hole has kind of walked away, and Morthos and Rygar, you're called out to by Vincent as
No.
as
I see.
Moxie kind of steps to a side little shadowed under a tree area next to the blushing lady, and kind of motions to Vincent to follow as he calls out to you guys. Do you?
Yeah, I'll follow.
Okay, so they both step up. And Moxie turns back to you and says, "Are you sure you trust them?"
We've come this far.
All
There's a
right.
reason I shouldn't.
Not that I know of, darling. But that's your judgment call.
Alright, guys, if you guys just give us a minute.
So, you want us to stay here now?
Just keep an eye out. I don't know what can happen.
As you say, wizard.
All right, so you join her in the corner alcove,
Who
and
to trust?
and she says to you, "I sent her up to be with my brother. He's a woodsman,
Shady woodsman?
a lumberjack in Lurkwood, southwestern Lurkwood, at the base of the spine of the world. Do you know of it?"
I've read of it.
There's a a lumber camp. Doesn't have a name. It's not on any maps. It's there, but only to those who know of it. Trades lumber to the surrounding areas, fur trappers. She was from the woods and seemed comfortable there, darling, so that's where I sent her. You make your way to Lurkwood. Last I heard, she's doing just fine. Trapping and skinning and surviving up there in the Lurkwood.
Does she know about me?
No, none of us did. Until right now.
What's your brother's name?
My brother's name is Melvin. Unfortunate, I know. You can laugh.
Man, I wish it was Grizzly. Grizzly Adams. What was his name?
Is there anything I can take with me to prove to Melvin that I'm not there to do any harm?
How do you plan on getting there, darling?
We'll figure that out. We're on our way north anyway.
Are you going to go directly there or more roundabout way?
I can safely say no part of our journey has been direct.
Well, how about this? If you're going to take your time, I'll send Adwin on ahead. She's my most trusted confidant, and I'll make sure that my brother receives you. Does that sound like a plan? It's the least I can do for my rescuers.
I appreciate that.
Is there anything else we can do for you, darling?
No. I don't know what you might mean. Do you have any milk?
She just smiles. Are you speaking literally or figuratively?
I have no idea what she's talking about.
Literally,
Nope.
I say. All right. Yeah, we can get you some milk.
Are they walking back towards where we were standing?
Not yet.
One of my companions said that there's something different about me.
Oh?
My blood.
Oh?
He couldn't tell me anything more.
Well, my job was to protect your sister, and I've done that all these years. About, 15 years now. I wasn't told anything about her, other than she came from that forest in the south. She's a little older than you, though. How old are you?
19.
19? Yeah. She's about 23, 24. She probably remembers more than you do, if you don't know where you came from.
I don't remember much.
Well, maybe she can help fill in the gaps then.
All right. Thank you for your time.
Oh, my pleasure. We'll bring that milk right out, darling.
Thanks.
And they begin to walk away, and she goes over. Chelsea, fetch some cold milk for Vincent, please. Skim milk. And
Oh, and I asked her, would you happen to have some oil for sale on hand? I know the town was destroyed and there's not much there, but if you could spare some.
oh, you can go to the general store, and that general store
It's a pile of rubble.
no, it's just called Amphale General. And it is near Boarhead's Rest. And you go there, and it's easy enough to buy some oil, although the price is marked up a bit.
How much is it for?
It is 3 gold instead of the usual
How
1
much?
gold for essentially 10 uses of oil for your lamp.
Was that like 10 pints?
Yeah, it's, basically.
Okay. So 3 gold.
Is that Carowin's?
It is Carowin's store.
We'll be going there on our way back. Fix up the board.
Okay. And so Rygar, Morthos, as the conversation ends, Mylandra begins to follow behind Melcene and Hold as they trail off in the direction of the general store and the Boar's Head Rest. Is there any additional conversation or any additional people you care to seek out?
Well, on the way, you think we could stop at my buddy's house, the blacksmith, for a
I'd be
moment?
okay with that.
It'll just be a second, just to make sure
After-
they all made it out.
I understand. At some point, I think we need to go back to the fountain as well.
It's a great idea. Check out the destruction there.
Okay. So you guys make your way to Amphale General? Or no, to Stuyven Brex. Right?
Sure. Yeah, that's right
Okay.
there.
And so you guys arrive at Stuyven Brex, and I didn't print out a... Here. This is the map. It's not ideal, but you can get a general sense.
Looks good.
So the Blushing Lady is here. Boar's Head Rest is over here. Amphale General is down here. And Stuyven Brex is kind of up here at the base of the tenements. So you guys swing by Stuyven Brex. And as you approach, there's a group of people working in the streets, and one of them sees you, Hold, and calls out to you, "Oh, back to save us again?"
Who do I know this person?
It's just a random guy.
I will if you need saving, or at least we'll try as hard as we can. Do you need help? Or are you just going to chastise us for attempting to help before?
Your attempt left several dead. You know that?
I'm sorry, but I think it was the attack that left several dead. Our
We also
attempt
kept you alive.
Our attempt kept others.
As you're
alive.
having this conversation, you hear another voice call out. It says, "Jenkins, stop harassing them. They did their best."
Jenkins.
And the man speaks up. "Oh, you can talk. Your family was saved, Stuyven." "Yes, it was. Due to them. We all would have died. They saved who they could. Say your piece and move on with your life." Jenkins just turns around angrily, continuing to clear the building. "Hold!" He kind of approaches you and gives you a hug.
Oh, Stuyven. I'm so sorry for what's happened here.
"Hold, you need to apologize for nothing. Don't let these people take their anger out on you. You're just a convenient target."
That's right. Vincent's the real target anyway.
"Who's Vincent?"
Just kidding. Yeah, I know, but it gets to me. We feel bad about all the destruction that happened. It's partly why we came back.
"Well, then show these people you care by helping them clean up. Your actions will speak louder than your words."
Yeah, we're actually heading to the tavern now to help. I just wanted to come and make sure your family was fine.
"Thanks to you, they all made it out."
Very pleased about that.
He puts his hand on your shoulder, which is slightly taller than his shoulder. He's a large half-orc. He says, "Thank you. You have my loyalty till the end."
Appreciate it, brother. Mine as well. We'll be back to clean up here if we can.
"I will say, if you want to make a mark, help with the houses.
Oh?
People displaced, just trying to get their lives back in order. The bar can wait."
You're right. You're right. These people need help. What do you think, Maxine?
I agree.
And picks up a broken beam. It's close.
The closest rubble pile is the one that Jenkins is working on.
Yep, he goes over and grabs 10 times as much as Jenkins is carrying.
And Jenkins is trying to haul out that beam, and you come over. He hears you, but doesn't really pay you any attention until you pick up the beam, and he immediately just stops and looks at you. Just shakes his head. "Thanks." And continues silently working next to you.
Same. Just silent.
Okay? And so you begin to assist with clearing of that rubble. How many days do you wish to assist in clearing the rubble?
75 sound good?
Yep.
75 days. Is that good? How much XP do we get per day? That's the real question.
How close are we to level 6? That's the real question.
Well,
Do a
I
couple
assume
days.
Vinny and Morthos and Rhaegar find us at some point.
Yeah, you
Just
all
small town.
kind of meet up.
And
And-
so then we would have to talk about it.
I'll say until you're comfortable leaving.
Or did you learn anything?
Yes. I have to go to Lurkwood.
When?
It's- We don't have to hurry. There's time.
Are you? Is there any deadline for getting to the woods?
None that I could think of.
I don't know how fast we had to get to
Where are the salt marshes again?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how fast we had to get there or to Neverwinter. But what do you think, Morthos?
I'm in no rush for anything. I do not care where we go.
Yeah, we just had a battle, so I don't think it really matters how.
In fact, if
We
you
need
never
to-
want to go to Neverwinter, that is fine with me.
No, we need to help out and
We
get
should
some
stay here and
rest,
help to
get
rebuild.
some
This is
supplies,
way
and
more
then,
important
so.
than traveling north.
Okay.
Wow, it's very altruistic of you.
I know. Trying to turn over a new leaf.
It's your hometown.
Is
Whatever
that so?
decision you make.
It is.
I have made
Oh, yeah?
seemingly
On a
poor
20?
decisions in my hometown recently.
Can I tell if you're
So I'm
fibbing?
asking
I'll
you
tell
all.
the absolute truth. I
It's
will
about
stay here and
helping and
help.
rebuilding.
And the last time I asked you
No
for help, you were
deception
like,
there.
we don't know, you choose. And then half the town died. So perhaps
What did
You
you
did what
comfortable
you
to
could.
stay?
And I think we all realize that now.
Yeah.
I've been here for 3 years, so I can stay here longer.
All right, so
I
you
don't
are
think
in.
we have 3
A
weeks.
week.
You are
5
here.
days.
Start.
You are here in Amphil,
Yeah.
which is this town here.
Mhm.
You came there from Waterdeep.
Mhm.
The Mayor of Dead Men is right here, which is just north of Thornhold. On the other side of the Mayor of Dead Men is the Salt Marsh,
Right.
which lies south of the rubble of Lylon, which was a city that was destroyed hundreds of years ago.
That's on Eli's map.
This is all on Eli's map. Yep. Neverwinter is north up the coast further, right here,
And we're definitely going there.
of Lylon.
Because
The Lurkwood is right here.
And that's where you gotta go?
This is
All the way
to
up there.
the north,
Coldwood.
the northwest. Coldwood is in the
Oh, good.
is the western portion of the Glimmerwood.
Jeez Louise.
Mithril Hall lies between Lurkwood and Glimmerwood.
Okay. Well, we have to prepare for our trip.
So we can give them like 5 days.
So this was our first stop. We should maybe get some work done. Maybe, I don't know, half a week, or half a 10 day. Gather supplies. Maybe see what information these people have about these other locations
Mhm.
and head out.
And maybe even our attackers. Their attackers.
Very true.
So maybe
I
we
think
should
that
figure out,
sounds like a
base that we can have.
wise
So what's
choice.
her name? Be able to put up with us? To stay with her as we're helping out while we're here.
Well, most people here don't have houses anymore, so we'll probably just stay in the streets, or there's probably a city commune. Like,
Well, maybe we could do something about that while we're here.
yeah. Like the greenhouse is probably housing many people each night. I don't know. We'll find out, I'm sure. So it's settled. We'll stay. Well, we'll see how it goes. Half a 10 day. Clean up as much as we can.
So the days go by, and the angry looks that you get the first couple of days turn to looks of appreciation and softening as the people's anger seems to subside at your selfless acts of service. You're not asking for anything in return, you're just here helping to clear so that they can rebuild their lives and move on. In particular, Hold, the people know you, recognize you, and so you are the focus of their ire initially, but your silence or knowing stare that kind of expresses sympathy without taking offense to their anger over time, that is able to diffuse the frustration and blame that they try to focus on you, but your acts of service and mercy win them over.
That's good news.
In the midst of this, going on day 5, 6, as you've really worked your way through clearing the rubble of many of the tenements and hold, you are like 10 men working. And because you don't need to sleep or eat, you are just a bulldozer of a clearing machine. And people greatly appreciate the help you can afford, as well as the help that your comrades give, as they're able to, as you have a bear working next to you, helping to clear things out. You have the strength of your team and magic being used to put out any lingering smolder in the rubble, and to remove any lingering acid from the breath of the dragon that had puddled and pooled in different places. Yeah, I think, doesn't someone have the mending spell?
I actually have it.
Yeah, so Vincent, you in particular are useful
Nice.
in fixing, and you save Stuyven and the blacksmiths many, many hours of labor as you mend many of the broken implements that the people had. And so they actually, people, as they hear that you're doing this, form long lines as they bring goods to you to just mend things. And while Hold is clearing, you are mending as you go. And as the 5-day turns into the full 10-day, you have done much to help to assist the city in getting back to some semblance of life. There are many, many plots that will be vacant, but there is much progress that you help them to make, and ultimately the people find themselves grateful to your efforts. And even though many lost their lives, you're able to win them over. Now, in the midst of this, there are a couple of conversations that happen. The first is about day 6 or 7. As you're working in one of the back alleys of the tenements, in a poorer section, you hear a voice behind you, which you've heard before. It says, "So, I was just making sure that I was safe to come out and talk to you guys, and it appears to me, to my small little thankful eyes anyway, that you mean good to these people. And as you know, you saved me before, and I'm hoping that perhaps you can save me again. Because you were sent here to find me, weren't you?" And you notice this small little rat folk man who you saved previously, along with several members of his family. And you helped him to get back to the keep at the barracks, kind of at the southeastern wall. You know him to be Matimer Creel. He told you his name before.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the man that Leo specifically asked you to find and to escort, because this was the rat folk that the Goliath who had attacked Nightstone, the murderous assassin who you saw about to be hung at the gallows way back in the very first episode, was seeking to capture for himself, for the Xanathar Guild, seemingly, to either kill or bring back. He stands before you. Says, "So, what do you think? You guys interested in helping me out here?"
What is it now?
Well, as you know, I'm a bit of a, shall we say, wanted individual. And as you're having this conversation, you know, there's no one around you. You're really just kind of working by yourselves. And he's made sure to do this very discreetly. He says, "You know that they're after me, right?
Who's after you now?
Is that for you?
Everybody.
Okay.
Everybody in Waterdeep wants me
Why do they want you?
because I have information.
What information?
I have dirt on the nobles. I know where things are that they want. I was a bit of a master spy.
You
Know the underground of Waterdeep better than anyone. And Leo, he helped me get out, along with that lovely bride of his who tried to stab me in the throat. Actually, she did stab me in the throat, but we got past that. And I've come here trying to hide, trying to make a new life for myself with my family, but obviously this place isn't safe either. So I'm hoping that perhaps you can take me to Mirabar or somewhere up north, far away from here.
Why don't you go to Nightstone?
Yav already attacked Nightstone.
But he's not there now.
He could come back,
True. He could go.
and I don't want to endanger Leo and Nye.
Gotcha.
So they're after you because you have information?
Yes, that's right.
So why don't you just unload all your information?
Doesn't work that way. It's valuable to the people who want it. I can't just publish it in the newspaper. That does me no good, or them, or anybody.
You could come with us, but
I think we would need to know what information before we would.
There's too much information for me to tell.
We've got a lot of time.
Listen,
it's a long journey.
we're involved with the Blackwoods.
Ah,
We're involved. We are Greyhands.
right? Yes, yes. Okay, I
We-
see the little pin you got there. Yep.
We are.
Westra's a devious one. You working with her too, huh? Interesting.
Who?
Lady Westra Blackwood.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
What do you know of the family?
I know lots about that family. Yeah.
I like the dad.
How do you come by your information?
He's not the real dad. Anyway, continue.
How do you
Right.
come by your information?
I have my ways. Sometimes I pick it. Sometimes I hear it. Sometimes I...
I cover my pockets in my bags.
Oh, don't worry. You saved me. I would never take anything from you. You know what I'm talking about, though, right?
Oh,
Yes, you do. I can tell. And he speaks a sentence that would be otherwise completely nonsensical. Something to the effect of, the birds of the air frolic in the trough while the kids play in the treehouse at night under the fountain of the stars. And you know exactly what he says, which is, we skulk around in shadows and we take what the night reveals to us. And as he speaks this in Thieves' Cant.
I couldn't have said it better myself.
You
That
guys.
didn't make any sense, Morthos.
It was beautiful
Sounded-
scenery, though. Really
sounded
painted a
perfectly clear
picture
to
in
me.
my mind of the bird in the trough. Wait, what?
See, now you're confused.
I think
So-
we should take him with us. I think I could learn a thing or two.
I can tell that you don't really trust me.
How
We
about
don't.
you give us something? Because, like, we can't just take you with us. Like, we need something out of it.
What would you like? Apart from my tremendous skills, which will accompany you on your journey.
Be nice.
And your skills are what?
My skills are both finesse and magic. And he looks at you and he utters something under his breath and then appears behind you as he misty steps behind you.
That was a waste of a spell slot.
What about your family?
And then he grabs you, and then you both appear on top of a building next to you.
So why
You've
can't he
proved
just
your point.
disappear
Maybe
to
he's
the
fancy.
north?
But don't forget the view. I mean, he has kind of vouched for this individual in a way by asking us to help him.
That's
Yeah,
true.
so how about you give us some information about
Wait.
the Blackwoods, I think.
Come back down here, please.
Let's
I
go.
need to speak to you.
That's the last time I can do that. All right.
I say we have. Listen,
You
we
need to take a rest.
Yeah. have
I'm feeling a
caused-
bit famished, tired.
and been a part of a couple things between the Zents and the Zands. That's what I'll go with. And I am honestly not sure whose side we're on. I don't know who we've helped or hurt.
Yeah, I'm still not sure.
You've
But-
helped me,
But
and I'm grateful.
the dock ward is
A very dangerous place,
The
full
whole-
of criminals and lowlifes. I would never be caught dead there.
right. You were never caught dead there, but you were caught alive.
No, they never caught me.
Okay, so you know a lot about the Blackwoods, right, Lady Blackwood?
I do, yes.
Is it smart of us to be associated with her, or not with the information that you have?
Roll a persuasion check.
You're the right person to be talking though.
16. Yes.
16?
Plus 6.
Yeah.
Let me put it this way. Westra only looks out for Westra. Sometimes she helps people. Sometimes she kills them. It all depends on what Westra needs and what Westra wants.
That makes sense.
Killed her first husband.
Who's Westra?
She killed her first
Lady
husband.
Blackstra.
Oh, Westwa.
Yeah, she's got a bit of a
Westwa. Okay.
an impediment. Yeah,
Oh,
don't
okay.
bring that
I
up though.
wasn't
She's a little
sure.
touchy. Yeah.
I'm
Anyway,
glad we're friends with her.
So she killed her first husband.
She knows
Yep.
all about us.
married a rich merchant. The new Master Blackwood took her name. Should tell you all you need to know about the power she wields,
Hmm?
and now the fortune she wields.
It just means they believe in equality in a relationship.
Sure. Anyway,
So you have ways of getting information.
yes, that's true.
Do you have information on maybe somebody coming here after you? Is
Like-
that why you want to leave?
Well, I know there's a hit out on me.
Mm-hmm.
The Xanathar want me. The Zentarum want me. Although I think I've mollified them pretty well.
What about your family?
My family, when I say family, I speak broadly. I don't have any close blood relatives. I mean my rat folk kin.
Okay.
And from what I know, Mirabar has well, they tolerate us there. Not many places do. It's a good mining town. And, you know, we're good miners. We're good underground, tight places. Get along just fine with dwarves, you know.
You'd become a miner.
Well, I wouldn't. But there's plenty of rat folk there who are. And I could blend in with them, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Be safe.
And what else
Sure.
is in those mines that might interest you?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Insight. 11.
He seems to be truthful.
Gold, maybe?
It's more of a
Diamonds?
metal mine. Iron,
Mm-hmm.
platinum, which could be valuable.
It could be.
Certain things that people make weapons and armors and
Are you willing to share?
what else do you want, lady?
Some of that metal stuff. You said.
I'm not taking any of it. I just want to go there. If you want to rob them, that's on you.
We do
Listen,
not
I
want to
do not
rob
rob
anybody.
people.
Well, you could have given me a different impression. Who are you anyway?
Me?
Yeah, you. You have a glow to you, which is a bit rare.
My name is Mylandra.
Mylandra. Well, nice to meet you. I'm Matimer.
Nice to meet you too.
Hey, we're kind of taking a long way around.
Well, if you'll protect me, that's okay.
Well, we could use some of your skills, perhaps.
Certainly be willing to put them to use for you.
I hear that, well, I've gathered from your speaking that you could be pretty stealthy.
That's
So
true.
we don't really have enough resources for scouting purposes, you and Morthos could probably be a pretty good team at that.
I would certainly be willing to do that. I'm not big on combat, but I could scope out of town real good.
For Leo,
Leo, yeah.
I say we do it for Leo.
what do you think? Okay.
Yeah, accept.
Don't be so enthusiastic, Elf.
I think we'll be leaving in a few days.
All right, well, I'll be ready when you are. So you have the conversation with Matimer. Another day goes by, and one of the members of the Iron Abbey finds you. And you know this young man to be Brother Sam. And he says, "Hold, you made it."
Oh, Sam. We're doing the best we can here to
Well,
help you out.
you're sure helping out a lot here. Oh, I wish you had been back here, Hold. We lost him. We lost Father Greg. We lost many of the defenders. I'm one of the few left. Even the paladins from the Vigilant Eyes of God, they were killed mostly.
Sam, we came back. We tried. He died in my arms.
Father Greg died in your arms?
And Father James.
I'm sorry. I know how hard that must be.
But we've come back to, yes, first mourn, but really rebuild and bring hope to Amphel once again. Have you taken over the Abbey?
There's not much left of it. It was hit hard in the first wave of attacks.
But he'll most certainly help you build it back up again.
Well, I was just a young acolyte. I don't know if I'm prepared for that, but I can certainly try.
Don't be ashamed of your youth. I am only 3 years old, and I'm adventuring the world.
I understand. I understand. Well, I do have something for you.
For me?
It was a letter left by Protector Frey. You remember him, don't you? He was the lead paladin of the Vigilant Eyes of God.
Oh. Yeah. Yeah.
He was badly wounded but survived. He tried to defend the people from the onslaught of the Minotaur.
That's unfortunate.
He was cut down but pulled through. He tracked the Minotaur afterwards into the Westwood, but I haven't heard from him again. The Westwood, by the way, is right here, right
Eli-
above you.
And Eli's eyes open up wide.
Eli's eyes do open up wide. Says he left a letter for you if you were to return. And he hands it over to you.
Hold holds it upside down first. Thank you. Should I read it out loud?
It's your letter. You do with it what you will.
I'll spend a night with it first.
Good grief.
I don't.
If you want, you guys are pretty strong, right? I mean, you have Hold with you. With him as your leader, you could probably take on most anything.
Leader? Huh.
Who voted him leader?
Nobody.
Okay.
Okay, well then your camaraderie of equality. Anyway, you could go into the Westwood and try to track him yourselves. The Minotaur streamed in from the north. dragon appeared over in the skies over us with the elementals. Anyway, thanks again, Hold, for coming back and helping.
This is my home too.
Yeah.
I beseech thee. I heard that in a message one time. To maybe pray a wee bit, and I heard that too at some point. And seek guidance, not only from Helm, but maybe Tyr.
Tyr?
Tyr, to assist you in rebuilding and bringing mercy to this town after this attack. Tyr has chosen to reveal himself, and
Tyr revealed himself to you?
yes,
And not Helm.
Helm has never spoken with me.
That's
You know that.
interesting. I do. Well, that's great.
Agreed.
Tyr is a god of justice.
Yes. So,
He and Helm, Helm protects. That's a good thing too.
so seek guidance from them, and they will help you rebuild and bring the Abbey to its former usefulness, so that you can bring the light to the people. Don't just keep the light, like some leaders of churches I know in Waterdeep, but bring the light to the people.
I think I understand. Thank you.
Thank you for this message.
One final conversation you have. And this is nearing the end of the 10-day. As Captain Dathomir approaches you. Captain Dathomir, you recall, was there defending the greenhouse as it came under attack. It was an elvish woman who oversaw the guard, who risked her life to kill the Imolith, and was actually struck down and revived by you all. There are still burns on her body, scars from that encounter. And she is a dark-skinned woman with very strong features. She has a very serious look to her. She's an elf, and very no-nonsense elf. She sees you and she says, "Hold, thank you again for not only saving me and defending the greenhouse, but thank you for what you've done here this past 10-day.
Oh, it was not me, it was us. We did this as a team. Then and now. I've learned many things from all of them over the past 10 days and also the past few months prior. And I think we have a good group here.
Well, I am grateful, and I must admit, I've always had my questions about you,
I know.
but you've proven yourself yet again. And so I come to you, giving you an opportunity to again serve Amphil. And I don't have the men to spare. And so I'm coming to you in the hopes that perhaps you can assist. You see, there have been attacks on our workers in the fields, which have gone unharvested, and it is approaching the harvest season. We drove the dragon off, and though they weren't able to destroy the fields, it seems that shortly after their departure, land sharks began to attack. Now, I have no proof that there's a connection there, but I have no doubt that there's some causal unity between that attack and these land sharks, because they're coming in packs, in I think a pack, which they never do. They usually fight in solitary. I don't know where they are, but I know that they're to the northeast in the fields there, and they're just killing anything that comes around.
We saw a lot of food south of here in the fields.
Well-
Have you guys moved down there to try harvesting?
People are afraid to move out, and so they're concentrating their efforts on rebuilding, which now that you've cleaned up most everything, hopefully we can get them back out in the fields, but we need that food to come in. Not only for our own sake, but for the sake of all Waterdeep. So I'm really hoping that maybe you guys could take care of that.
I think this time that we spent helping clean up Ampville has also helped heal the divisions between us. So I think we should help.
Yeah?
That's what we do.
Fights in the fields. Let's attempt to keep our fire.
It'd be nice if there was some coin involved with this.
Morthos, I'll pay you.
I'm in.
This town has no coin. However, where are we?
You were working in the tenements the majority of that time, helping to rebuild. So it's at the end of that time. You've now come down and you've begun clearing the Boar's Head Rest.
Oh, okay.
So you're close, and that's when she approached you, when you were close to the barracks.
Yes. Are you still trying to keep the guards together and active?
I'm acting as the de facto leader of the town right now. We're under martial law, and so I've been giving direction until Lord Ilzimer can return. But we have no sense of when that will be. His daughter has gone to join him down in Waterdeep. His son was lost in the combat.
We'll have to go see. Well, somebody write that down in their journals. We have a request to see, to take a look at the. We talked to somebody about the heart of Ampville.
Don't
Oh,
speak too loudly about that.
okay.
Not many people know, but I can tell by your pin where you would have gotten that information.
Mhm.
Why do you need to see it? It's safe where it is. It was not disturbed in the attack.
It's there.
The fields remain,
Okay, that's very good. And
thanks to you,
us.
all of you. That's what they came for.
And it's secure.
It is secure.
Hmm. Well, that's good to know. All right. Guess we don't need anything else then. When should we head up? As soon as possible?
As soon as you can bring back,
I think we're pretty much done with our stay. We do have a lot to do moving forward.
as soon as you can bring back the heads of those beasts, the sooner I can get people back out to work.
You need the heads.
Something that would show the
Okay.
people.
You like to bring it.
I'll bring them all back.
Be careful. They're vile, deadly creatures. They burrow under your feet and attack you when you least suspect it.
Good thing I have tremor sense. Oh, wait, that was a dream. Sorry.
Are there any other questions I can answer for you?
What do they want with the heart of Ampville?
I don't know much about it other than that it's my duty to protect it. I just know that it makes the fields grow, but anything that can do that can probably do other things too, in the wrong hands.
Yeah. Okay.
We should be off. What time is it?
Game time.
It's about 1 o'clock in the afternoon,
Okay.
and you make your way to the fields. Is there any further preparation or conversation you wish to have?
Yeah, we want to grab the rat boy to help us.
He's not gonna fight.
No, we're gonna tell him that we're leaving, and he's gonna follow, and then we'll just have to help him fight.
So, you're trying to deceive him?
No, I'm saying we're heading north. Ready?
We're heading out. We're heading out where we're going.
We're heading out of Amphil.
Okay.
Are you packed?
I am.
Okay. Meet us in the cornfields up north.
Hold.
You know that there's danger up there, right?
Oh.
What kind of danger?
Dude,
There's land sharks eating people.
we fought off a black dragon. I think we can handle the land sharks.
I watched you run from a black dragon
The dragon ran from us.
after it. Well, anyway.
Wait.
The point is,
We
we're
did
going through the
run. We ran
cornfields. We're not coming
pretty
back. So
So you're leaving Amphil and going through the cornfields.
Fighting through- Yep.
We do
Keep
need
going.
to bring the heads back.
So you're going to kill these things.
Yes,
Correct.
we are.
All right.
Yes,
We are.
Okay.
We'll be
I
back.
appreciate your forthrightness.
No problem.
How about this? Once you bring the heads back, then I'll go with you, okay?
It's just
Maybe we're probably going after the Minotaur after that, but
I'll probably want to wait back here then for that.
we'll be around Amphil for a while.
Do you know anything about land sharks?
Yeah, don't get eaten by them.
Right.
If the ground under your feet starts shaking, you better get on solid ground or get up high.
Okay.
Anything else?
Well, let's get those land
So I
sharks.
guess we'll see you after the land sharks.
All right. I'll see you then.
My. So we should supply up and get going.
All right. So you do that. And as you're doing that, we're going to give away the last dragon here. And so if you want to participate in that, type in ! Rebuild. Rebuild.
We can't play.
And we will
If we can play, then. Yeah.
give the dragon away! Rebuild.
I mean, it is a
Watch,
dragon.
Jake's gonna win.
Yep.
That's why
He's
he's
not
here.
here.
That's why he
He
missed.
specifically didn't come tonight.
He's making up different names.
That's right. All right, so type in ! Rebuild. Very good. And we will get in touch. We will message the winner. And then you can message us your information. Again, it is only open to people in the United States and Canada, excluding Quebec. So we can only ship to the US and
I
Canada.
guess Quebec excluded.
Because they have weird laws with regard to giveaways and rules.
Interesting.
So you can't really do giveaways to Quebec.
Unless they're pucks or hockey sticks.
Or you can
If-
sell it for 10 cents plus duties.
Yes, right? All right. So you guys
Oh,
stock
take a
up
baloney.
and you make your way into the fields to the north of Amphale. And that is where we will pick up our session in 2 weeks. We're going to take a week break. And we will be back here in 2 weeks as we continue our adventure.
What shows us of the attack? Does the land shark come up and bite Solace's other hand off? That'd be so good.
Bite your left foot off. All right, so you guys make your way into the fields looking for signs of the land sharks. And we will hopefully see you in 2 weeks where we will give away some more minis. And we are going to get in touch with the winners here tonight. We'll message you guys. Yep. Ask !Rebuild to try to win the dragon here. And we hope to see you in 2 weeks from now, 7 o'clock Eastern Time. as we continue to loot, die, and repeat. Have a good night, everybody.
Do-do-do-do-do-do.